I'm James Harris. I'm CEO of Tesseract. We are a institutional yield provider. We have a MiCA authorized entity that is authorized by the Finnish FSA. And today I'm going to talk to you about vaults and what institutions need from them. Yesterday, we, very excitingly for us, launched our entry into the vault market. And we did that by launching dedicated client vaults, which are MiCA-compliant vaults by design that were built from ground up to meet the European regulatory requirements. Very, very exciting for us. We could not have done this without our excellent partners, Fusion by IPOR. They provided the technical chops that we needed to create the vault modifications that we needed to deliver MiCA-compliant vaults. We also are heavily indebted to a cohort of 6 institutional clients that helped us on a consultative basis as we went through our pilot program to deliver these vaults. These are new innovations, new ground, and we needed all of their advice. We're delighted to announce that 21Shares was one of those partners that helped us do it. So I'm going to be talking about vaults today, and institutional variants of which. But first, allow me a quick, irreverent detour. In times like this, when the markets are like they are, it's important to take stock of where we are. And when we really zero out, I've been building in this space for 10 years, like let's take a look at crypto's contribution to the world so far and what it means for an institution. First, Bitcoin, obviously. That's what started it. Sound decentralized money is what we needed. Second, and this is more related to the partners here, we have tokens that are created and are transferred across L1 and L2 rails. Tremendously important innovation on which we're all building now. And then finally, slightly more recently, we have the development of decentralized finance. So these are the 3 themes that when we take stock of what we've actually built, these are absolutely key. And we shouldn't be despondent about this. These are great world-changing and asset market-changing contributions. So when institutions look at this, they look at it and say, okay, Bitcoin, sound decentralized money, that's native collateral, got it, understood. When they look at the layer 1s and layer 2s, that's super exciting for them because it allows the tokenization of everything. On the decentralized side, they're like, okay, it's an evolution of what we do already, and it allows for on-chain services. It's real-time footage of institutions now paying attention. So I'm going to make 2 very uncontroversial predictions, and sorry, so far, this crowd is very savvy, you know what we're talking about. But I believe, 1, all assets will be tokenized. Every single asset can be tokenized. And 2, the future of asset management, given the fact that all chains are tokenized, is on-chain. Now that is an exciting statement. So to go with my 2 very uncontroversial predictions, I will make a controversial statement. Institutions don't really give a damn about your digital assets. That's unfortunate, and it's sad for me. I'm a bag holder as well. What they do care about, though, are better rails for their existing assets to travel. Cheaper, more efficient, liquid, capital efficiency. These are very, very important institutions. Now, if that means that they can interact with things like Bitcoin, fantastic. More real-time footage. Over the last 10 years, I've heard the refrain, institutions are coming, and that's what we've been betting on. They are here, and it's not what we thought, right? I think that definitely institutions now have their hand and their fingerprints on our markets, and the market structure has changed. So we have to adapt. We have to provide institutions what they need, but we also have to be cognizant that the market has changed forever with their entry. Institutional-grade solutions, then. They're now the norm. Custody, solved. Exchanges and liquidity, institutional-grade. Venue connectivity, as good as anything you see in TradFi. Centralized and decentralized lending pools at scale, built on giants like Aave, Morpho, you name it. Vaults, however, slightly more gray area. Finally, 5 minutes in, 10 slides in, I'm talking about vaults. This is the money shot. Vaults, to me, are a 10, 100, 1000x opportunity. 10, because 10x better UI. You can spin up vaults from your wallet. It's wallet linked. It's transparent, real time, auditable, all those kind of features. 10x better than current asset management structures. 100x, because we've already grown 100x. Vaults have gone from tens of millions 18 months ago to 20 billion at the high last year. Incredible growth. Again, hat tip, Morpho, fantastic job. Great exponents. Centaura was on the stage before. Fantastic job bringing it to the market. 1000x, because that's our addressable market. Every single asset will be tokenized. All assets will be managed on-chain. Let's look at what that means. Equities, bonds, real estate, art, you name it. The market cap for those assets currently, conservatively, between 700 and 900 trillion. That's almost a quadrillion. And quadrillion we only ever use when we talk about Bitcoin Satoshi outstanding supply. Quadrillion's a big number. That's the 1000x TAM addressable market. Now the problem is, and this is not to be incendiary for the people here, but there are some gray areas of the way vaults are currently built, right? Some of the current vaults don't quite meet MiCA, and we're based in Europe, so we care about Europe, but they don't quite meet MiFID or AIFMD requirements either. And the reason for that is this. Any user, professional or retail, in many cases, can go to a vault provider, go straight in, deposit assets. First problem under MiCA. No KYC, no AML, no suitability test. Secondly, they're depositing funds into pooled vaults. Those, I'm sorry, very much look like collective investment schemes. Under MiCA, not allowed. So then you have the curators themselves who have variable levels, let's just say, of regulation and compliance. Under MiCA, not permitted. Now you might say, and MiCA says expressly, that DeFi is not under scope. However, the problem is that these are activities that are regulated activities. Asset management is a regulated activity. So you need to have a better look. And finally, the tokens that come out of these vaults are proportional investments in either regulated or unregulated hedge funds. Those are securities, no matter how you look at it. So areas exist in this structure, and we've created our dedicated client vaults to mitigate these. So the way we solve it is clients come in, KYC, AML, suitability test. They then create a vault that is 100% owned by themselves. The vault tokens that they earn, that they receive, are non-transferable beyond the institution itself. Therefore, it is a non-transferable asset, not a security. We ourselves are then curating or providing the asset management services in a completely appropriate way. Under MiCA, you have to do things on a client-by-client basis. Tick, because we've created a vault that's specific to that client. We have all of the licenses that are required to do this sort of thing. So we have an asset management license, we have a custody license, and we have an asset transfer license. Those are the three components that go into the technical thing. So while there is no entry under MiCA saying DeFi, all of those activities are still very, very clear to anyone who's been in asset management for any length of time. So we solve it then effectively in a neat solution, compliant by design, whereby every single problem that exists in the previous setup, and that's not to knock them because this is a coexistence question. We're not looking to supplant everything that's been built. We've built these solutions simply to provide a solution to those institutions that have to solve these problems. So what this means for you, as I mentioned, we can deploy capital quickly through a compliant vehicle without some of the structural headaches that your compliance teams are seeing today, or the slight sort of rounding off of some of the concerns you have just because otherwise it doesn't fit. We now believe that there's a solution that works for institutions that care about these things. DeFi protocols and builders should be excited as well, because this should attract more capital back into the ecosystem and allow more people to come into the institutional grade infrastructure you've already built. The institutional sandboxes that you've created can now have an actual place and a funnel coming towards them. Today, I'm here all day. My colleague's Adam Saville-Brown, the head of commercial. He's wearing a Tesseract cap. You can't miss him. It's blue. He'll be here all day, as will my colleague Adam Heems, our head of asset management. We'll be very pleased to answer any of your questions and discuss how we might be able to work together.